YouTube. Yeah, if you want to see what I'm streaming, the YouTube channel is uplisted. Uplisted. I'm streaming, so when I tap here, I change the screen. I'm streaming on YouTube now. Now, what am I streaming on YouTube? Okay, what I'm streaming on YouTube is actually what you're seeing here. Yeah, that's what I'm streaming on YouTube. Now, there's one thing about YouTube, and that is on YouTube, I can actually engage with people in the comment section. Okay, I can engage with people in the comment section. What's going to happen on YouTube is that the comments will not stay for long, but the video will remain. Do you know how many videos I've recorded on YouTube, on TikTok, and they have been all deleted? They have been all deleted. So I recorded my video. After recording it, I couldn't access it. Okay, so that's why now I'm streaming on YouTube. My video will remain. So whatever I'm going to say, it will continue to work for me. Many years. As you know, these YouTube videos sometimes can stay there for even 20 years or whatever. Okay, so I have people now connecting with me on YouTube. Is this guy connecting with YouTube? Who is this guy? And where did he come from? Okay. So guys, this is my channel. Go and subscribe to it and come back. Yeah, you go and you type that word at uplisted. You will see a YouTube channel which is in red. You see the red circle showing that I am live. Blessed. Blessed, have you heard? Have you heard Blessed? Yeah, that is my YouTube channel. Go and Simulate Abraham. First, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, because when I end here, that's where I'm going to go. First, subscribe to my YouTube channel, all of you. My YouTube channel, let's first subscribe to it. Ezra Smith, this is the channel. Subscribe and comment. I'm here responding to comments on YouTube. Okay. I'm responding to comments on YouTube. There are words that I'm going to speak on YouTube that I can't on TikTok because there is some information that TikTok does not allow us to share. Okay. Such information I can only share it with you on YouTube. So go and subscribe. Okay, let's go. Huh? Let's go. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm also on Rumble at the same time. Okay. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Rumble at the same time. I'm on Rumble at the same time. So let me see. Let me first switch these guys and bring silent YouTube. Yeah, I have now 273 people have subscribed. More. Keep going. Keep going. Let's get those subscribers. Okay, just for you to have access to exclusive information. That's why you need to subscribe. You need to have access to that kind of information that I can't share on TikTok. See, I'm not saying anything, not because I have nothing to say. but have lost a lot of accounts. Here they are saying Israel just attacked Iran 1 hour ago. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Israel has just attacked Iran. Mm, you guys, let me first unmute and put this news.
I rather suspect that the Israelis will begin it in some way. They'll act initially on their own, then we'll be dragged in to support them and assist them. How does Israel come through this? It's hard to tell. The Iranians have the capability to flatten the place, but I think Israel's in a lot of trouble now. It's losing a lot of population. It has very little income. It's entirely dependent upon us. I don't know that it survives the whole enterprise.
This is Colonel Douglas Macgregor, a defense and foreign policy analyst and former advisor to the Secretary of Defense. I sat down with the colonel and recorded this interview just hours before Israel launched its war against Iran, a war that now has escalated into the biggest and most dangerous international conflict threatening the future of our world. Nuclear warfare has never been closer than right now, and make no mistake, the U.S. government is firmly standing behind Israel's attacks against Iran. This was reported directly by the Times of Israel in this article, which reveals that the U.S. helped lull Iran into belief that no attack was imminent. But here is where things get interesting, because it's now becoming interestingly clear that the United States was closely involved in coordinating this attack with Israel, acting in full cooperation and perhaps even duplicity. Just hours after the strikes, Donald Trump posted, 2 months ago, I gave Iran a 60-day ultimatum to make a deal. They should have done it. Today is day 61. I told them what to do, but they just couldn't get there. Now they have, perhaps, a second chance. His message makes it obvious. This wasn't just Israel acting alone. It was a calculated move with full U.S. backing. This has now been confirmed by news platform Axios, who posted this incredible article revealing that Israel's strike on Iran was 8 months in the making. 2 Israeli officials claimed to Axios that Trump and his aides were only pretending to oppose an Israeli attack in public. We had a clear U.S. green light, one claimed. The goal was to convince Iran that no attack was imminent and make sure Iranians on Israel's target list wouldn't move to new locations. Netanyahu's aides even briefed Israeli reporters that Trump had tried to put the brakes on an Israeli strike in a call on Monday, when in reality, the call dealt with the coordination ahead of the attack, Israeli officials now say. The situation in the Middle East is now escalating faster than any of us could have predicted. But now let's listen to Colonel Macgregor's insights as he predicted this very attack against Iran, but also explains what will happen next. Colonel, I want to talk about Israel. And I think this is a very interesting time right now for this. Obviously, we've seen, for example, the progression of this Israel's war in Gaza. I mean, the continuing devastation, still a massive humanitarian crisis. But also, I think we're also starting to see a lot of the international support for Israel is starting to wane, and it's really becoming a turning point here. I want to get your thoughts on Israel as we're looking in June 2025 right now. What is your thoughts on the current situation between Israel and Gaza and the pending crisis with Iran?
Well, I think we're going to end up in a struggle with Iran. It'll be a conflict. How does it begin? I rather suspect that the Israelis will begin it in some way. They'll act initially on their own, then we'll be dragged in to support them and assist them. How does Israel come through this? It's hard to tell. The Iranians have the capability to flatten the place. Israel's simply not that large,
Right.
and they could do that. Now the Israelis could be extraordinarily arrogant and impudent, I would say a better word would be arrogant and foolish, and actually use a nuclear warhead of their own in their desire to destroy this so-called nuclear facility. I think that would be a terrible mistake. And then you would have a situation in which the Russians and the Chinese probably would both pitch in. What does that mean? I don't know. But I think Israel's in a lot of trouble now. It's losing a lot of population. It has very little income. It's entirely dependent upon us. I don't know that it survives the whole enterprise. We also have no strategic interest that would lead us to destroy Iran.
Right.
Now they talk about Iran as though the revolution happened yesterday. It's been 46 years.
Right.
Iran is a very different nation from what it was 46 years ago. Iran is a highly developed society with a very, very high human capital. They're much more capable than people think. We have this sort of ridiculous idea of Iran as this backwater of another Muslim country where nobody can do anything right. That just isn't the case. And we ought to be interested in cultivating good relations with them, not going to war with them. But Israel wants to maintain its monopoly on nuclear weapons. And it's determined to destroy anyone in the region who might, for any reason, have a nuclear capability. The Turks know this, and the Turks have always said to us privately that if they need a nuclear weapon, Pakistan will give it to them. So they're not really worried about it.
Right.
What a terrible set of circumstances to be in if you're Israel. I mean, literally, you've told everybody in the region that they're subhuman and that they richly deserve to be destroyed. I don't see how the Israelis recover from that. You tell all of your neighbors they deserve to die and they're subhuman. You're not exactly cultivating friends and supporters. So I think whatever happens now is probably not going to be good for Israel, period. It's going to set us back. It's going to harm us. Iran, contrary to popular belief, we've tried to argue for years that if you just destroy Iran, everything will be great. No, this is ridiculous nonsense. So I think we've reached an impasse. The problem is this, and this is most important, Cyrus. If you're President Trump, you sit down with your political advisors, whomever he's talking to these days, probably Lutnick and Witkoff, who are both fervent Zionists. And he says, well, how many senators do I control in a crucial vote in the Senate? And how many senators does Mr. Netanyahu control in a crucial vote in the Senate? Answer, Mr. Netanyahu controls more of the Senate than Donald Trump.
Wow.
That's probably also true for the House. That's why Washington is this fantasy island. Everybody who lives there is stuffing their pockets full of cash that they get from various lobbies and kickbacks because of their support for military equipment going all over the world or the commitment of U.S. forces somewhere. Donald Trump doesn't seem to have any control over any of it. What can he do? I don't know if you saw him I think it was yesterday, where he was asked directly about Iran.
Right.
And I've seen him in person up close. And this was a very different Donald Trump. He sat there very sort of stone-faced. Well, what about Iran and the negotiations? What's happening? And he sits there and he says, well, they want to enrich uranium and they can't do that. We can't have that. And they have to give up some other things, meaning theater ballistic missiles and so forth, and they won't do that. So I think I've said it, and it's clear the consequences are very dire. And then he sort of sat there.
Right.
This is not a man who wants to go to war.
Right.
Of course not. He's never wanted to go to war against anybody. But what's he going to do now? He's essentially boxed himself in thanks to his wonderful advisors and his readiness to essentially unconditionally support anything Israel and its agents in this country want. He's stuck. So what's the answer? The answer is we're going to have a war with Iran.
Would you say that the potential, this Israel-Iran, is this the most pressing international conflict at the moment right now? Has that overtaken Russia-Ukraine? Is this really our biggest worry at the moment?
It's overtaken everything.
Honestly, the situation in the Middle East has overtaken every other conflict and is the most pressing international security issue affecting not only the region, but if nuclear war begins, the entire world. Netanyahu, who has already lost international support over his devastating war crimes in Gaza, has now expanded them to new war crimes in Iran. And while Western governments justify Israel's attack on Iran as an act of self-defense, I want to leave you with a powerful insight from Mohammed El-Baradi, the Nobel Peace Prize winner and former Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency. He was deeply involved in managing nuclear tensions in Iraq, Iran, and North Korea, and he warned European governments that targeted strikes against nuclear facilities are explicitly prohibited under Article 56 of the Additional Protocol to the Geneva Conventions, to which Germany and many other European countries is a signatory. Moreover, Article 2-4 of the UN Charter clearly states that the use of force in international relations is forbidden, except in the cases of self defense or when authorized by the UN Security Council. This escalation raises serious legal and moral questions for the international community to consider. Everyone, we're trying to give you the latest updates from the Middle East, but things are developing so fast. So make sure that you stay tuned as we continue to follow this unfolding situation. But do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you